A New York judge ruled yesterday that former President Donald Trump, persistently committed fraud by inflating the value of his assets and stripped of the former president of control over some of his signature New York properties.
That's right. And joining us now to discuss is former New Jersey Superior Court Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, always great to have you with us here. Is this something you anticipated? Of course, we know District Attorney Letitia James seeking a $250 million fine against the former president. Is that extreme, or is that typical for a case like this?
Never been a case quite like this. This is a non-jury trial. I honestly thought there would be a trial first. However, when the Attorney General made her arguments in writing, and when the former president's lawyers made his arguments in writing, and when the judge who's serving as the judge and the jury in this case looked at the documents and realized these are all Trump Organization documents, these aren't government documents, and he was able to see that the documents backed up the allegations of regular, consistent, systematic misrepresentations, overstating and, when convenient, understating the value of real estate so that others, whether it's taxing authorities or banks or insurance companies, relied on these statements to their detriment, that the allegations had been proven, and therefore there would be no trial on it. Now, there is a trial, but that goes to the second part of your question, Katrina, the $250 million, $250 million. Where does that number come from? That number is the Attorney General's estimate of the profits that the Trump Organization made as a consequence of these misrepresentations. If her lawyers can show that to the court, then in addition to removing the ability of Donald Trump and his children and anything with the name Trump on it from operating in the city of New York, they will have to disgorge to remove from their wealth the amount of $250 million and give it to the state of New York.
Judge, the president, he took to Truth Social to write that he believes this judge is after him, even noting that the judge is a Democrat. In your many years of experience here, is this something that a judge normally looks at, delves in that deep? And how does a judge come to this conclusion? Do they bring in real estate people to try and figure out these valuations? Because I know real estate, a lot of it's subjective. It's what the fair market wants to pay for something. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, you're right about that, Bob. Trump's defense was, look, the bank was Deutsche Bank, one of the biggest banks in the world. The insurance carriers were huge. They had their own appraisers. If they didn't believe what I said, they could have done their own appraisals. The city of New York has its own appraisals. Everybody wants to get the best deal that they can. But the judge discounted that defense because the documents showed such extraordinary exaggeration. For example, the value of his personal residence in Trump Tower, which he said was 33,000 square feet. Imagine an apartment in New York City, 33,000 square feet. Okay,
I just can't. Yeah.
It's going to be pricey.
I know you'd like to see it, Katrina.
I would.
It turns out, who wouldn't? It turns out that it's 11,000 square feet. Was it a mistake? Well, no, because it was done over and over and over again. So it's the repetitive nature of this, Bob, that causes the court to conclude that the Attorney General's allegations were proven, because the law says a single fraud, it's up to the victim to sue. But when someone does this over and over and over again, the Attorney General can step in the place of the victim and sue in behalf of the state, and that's what she did, and that's what he proved. Will an appellate court overrule it? I don't think so, but of course Trump's lawyers will give it their best shot.
Obviously, a major legal battle brewing on this one as more.
Yeah, could be disastrous for the former president as well.
Absolutely, and something we know he's going to fight. Judge, as always, thank you so much for joining us here on American Agenda.
Pleasure, guys.